Recording is rolling. It is Monday, August 11. Right, so I will post this recording to Google Classroom after school today, and then you guys will have access to that. And that'll be every day. All right, so we got here AP Physics 1. You guys are period 4. So there's a few things I want you guys to do tonight. Just real simple. There's going to be a Google Classroom. That's this code here, and there's also an AP Classroom code. So log on to both of those tonight. I know school's being really strict about let's not do cell phones, and also you won't get your laptops until tomorrow. So sorry, you can't really knock that out right now, but you guys can do that tonight. So write that down somewhere. Or you know what? When you guys were walking in, which that's class, you get right here. Right. This is one of the pages I gave you guys. Those codes are also down here. So Google Classroom and also AP Classroom just for period 4. Okay, you guys can do that? Okay. Now, somewhere on here, I wrote the word Canvas. I didn't even recognize that until this morning. So, oops. I was trying to switch over to Canvas in last week, but I realized after a while that I like Google Classroom a lot better for a number of reasons. So we're just doing Google Classroom is what we're doing. Google Classroom. Okay. If at any point you guys have any questions about anything, let me know, because if you have a question, probably everybody else wondering the same thing, whatever that may be. All right, so join Google Classroom, join AP Classroom. Oh yeah, the Perseid meteor shower usually kicks off beginning of school. So maybe not tonight, but tomorrow night. If you guys are watching the night sky, you might see some shooting stars. All right, let's get rolling on this adventure. Okay, I think that's the same thing I just said. I really just want you guys to hop on AP Classroom, Google Classroom, explore some materials on Google Classroom. You know what? Well, I got that bullet point up there. I may as well show you guys what's on this AP or sorry, this Google Classroom. All right, so I've uploaded a few things already. There's not a whole lot on it, but just these things right here. Yeah, let's go through this. Okay. So there's a full course and exam description. This is from AP. It's a whole PDF. I think it's like hundreds of pages long. If you want to see like a very detailed outline of everything you're going to learn in this class, that's there for you guys. Here's a curriculum syllabus page that I just handed to you guys on the way in. All these posters hanging around my room right now. Well, here, I also gave you guys in that plastic page protector some thumbnail versions of those. Those are for you guys to keep, so keep those. I've taught this class so many years. I know every single question that AP is going to ask on the exam, and every classic question I packaged together into a poster. So if you know those, you're going to pass the exam. Paul Hewitt demos. There's this community college teacher back in the 1980s, 1990s, who has a lot of really good physics demos. He packages them to like 1 minute, 2 minute demos. So I just went ahead and uploaded all those for you guys. There's Colorado University Boulder simulations. If you want some computer simulations, those are kind of fun. Near the beginning of the year, to get the ball rolling, usually I do some algebra review with the guys, trigonometry review, which are skills that we're going to use every day pretty much from here all the way through May. Algebra, trigonometry, right? So algebra solving equations, trigonometry for vectors and vector components. I don't know if we're going to use all these in class, maybe not, but I posted a bunch of files there. Also, you guys see too, like as we're going on through the school year, if you ever either lose something I give you or if you were absent from school, you can usually find it on Google Classroom, just print it out. Oh, and here's one I just uploaded this morning, one-on-one laptop agreement. You guys know tomorrow is going to be laptop day. So during registration, you and your parents probably filled out a laptop agreement form already, so you could check out a laptop tomorrow. If you have not, I'm out of spare copies, but I did scan it and I uploaded it so you guys can print it out if you need it. Okay, you guys got all the stuff on Google Classroom so far, right? And then again, by 4 o'clock today, I should have a video, maybe like this video right here, just posted to Google Classroom, right? Okay, so we got all that. Drag this over. All right. There's a name card in the top left corner of your desk. Right, since you guys are period 4, write your name next to period 4. Tonight, I will make a seating chart and then do attendance a lot faster. So we do that. All right, as long as you like your desk, you guys like your desk. Bell schedule. Yeah, so of course, I'm trying to work towards eventually all the really cool stuff you guys are going to get to learn in this class. Actually, this whole PowerPoint, it's going to take at least a couple of days to go over. So I'll get as far as I can, but we got to start with all the basic stuff like fire drills and all that stuff. So let's talk all out. Bell schedule. If you're in class, if you're sitting in class, you guys see I got these posted right here and also right here. You guys see schedules. So any day you guys can know, okay, exactly what's the time. Right. So there's some differences from last year. Probably most of you guys went to the school last year. If you did, you guys remember the last few years, there's been 3 lunches. Right. Now they've taken that down to 2. So number of reasons behind the scenes, but just be aware of that. So let's do a little math here. If there's almost 2,000 students in the school, split through 3 lunches, that's what, about 700 per lunch. Right. But this year it's probably almost 1,000 students in a lunch at a time. So just be kind of aware of that. So you guys are about to go to lunch. It's tied to your 4th period. In this class, at 4th period, we have B lunch. So the 12:18, yeah, you guys kind of get to, go to lunch. Yeah. Right. Friday schedules. You guys know we normally get out early on Friday, but past few years it's been 2:15. Do you guys see what it is this year? It's like 2:30. Okay, so a few extra minutes each class. I know I'll definitely be using that. A few extra minutes in every one of my classes. Okay, the exception is this coming Friday. What I'm told is this coming Friday is actually a regular reading schedule. We actually get out at 3:30, but only for this particular Friday. All right, so got that. Ooh, tomorrow is going to be laptop day. I have a whole cart of laptops over there. So if you remember from last year, pretty much this whole day is just dedicated to laptops. So you get your laptop from your 1st period teacher, and then every class after that, you're either watching videos or taking classes or quizzes or something related to those laptops. All right, so that'll be tomorrow. Again, if you have not filled out the paperwork for that, like the one-to-one agreement, that paper is on Google Classroom. So you have to have it printed out tonight and get it signed and so that you'll be good to go. All right, passes. All right, so I'm going to stick to the system we had going on last year. If you're in class, you guys see these passes hanging right here? Got this clip right here. This green pass and the red pass. And so the green pass is for restroom, the red pass is for a lot of other places, clinic, guidance, right? So normally how this class is going is I might be up here, maybe either solving puzzles, giving you guys notes, some version of that, and I'll have the class we're in some flow state of solving physics puzzles, and if you have to go to the restroom or something, then just come up here, grab this pass, just let me know, say, okay, great, give me a thumbs up or something so that I know, right here. If you're out for 5 minutes or something, that's probably good. Right, remember, we're trying to stick just one student at a time out. Right. Again, just to come back to this point, you guys know there's always a class recording going. Again, the video's never on you guys. It's just, the camera's just trained up on the stock cam usually. But yeah, so you'll be able to get that, use that discreetly. Another rule with passes is let's really try to stick to this. No passes the first 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes of class. I think to help maintain order in the school. If you're using the pass the first 10 minutes, the trouble with that is say if there's admins in the hall and then they don't know who's going to the restroom and who's actually tardy from class. So that's a little bit of trouble. Right? Similar idea of the last 2 minutes of class, okay, who's going to the restroom versus who's trying to get to the next class early or trying to get to lunch early. And so that could cause issues. So yeah, so let's try to stick to that as best we can. Just one student at a time, and then just somewhere in the middle of class. If you really need a pass, you need one, grab that, let me know, give me a thumbs up, good to go. Right? You guys good so far? All stuff? It's good. All right, drills. So when this guy right here starts singing his song, question, what do you do? That's right, just sit there and stare. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, sit there, wait, sit in place, wait for further instruction. So they'll come over the intercom and tell us one of 3 things. There's 3 main types of drills, right? 3 main types of drills. So let's go through each one of those. They might say shelter in place. Guys, what does shelter in place mean? Yeah, that's it. Okay, same question. We'll just keep doing whatever we're doing in here. Let's really try to not be in the restroom or out in the halls for any reason. Normally they call us during the lightning storm. So if you walk out in the hall, you might be hit by lightning and fried. And let's just not have that. Okay. What if they call lockdown? What does that mean? Ooh, we're going to find a hard corner in the room. And hey, we got a science room. So we got these really nice lab tables. I'm going to turn on lights just for a minute. You guys ready for lights? There's lights. You guys see all the way in the back corner? See that red card taped on the wall? That red card back there? That's our hard corner. So if they call lockdown, usually a drill situation, but we're going to get out of sight of this door and this window. All right, so we're all going to go back behind those lab tables, just hunker down for 5 minutes or whatever, however long the drill lasts. Something like that. Okay. And third category of drill. Oh, wait, any questions on the first 2? You guys good so far? Good. All right. Good. Third is fire drill evacuation. Right now, this one's also going to branch into two options because there's a site A and a site B. Right, you guys ready for these two different sites? Right. So I got a few slides on this. Okay, so I got this next slide right here. So you guys gonna get to see this a couple of times. Okay, let's start with the aerial picture of the school. It's from a few years ago. You can tell there was no building 5 back a few years ago, but anyway, so we're here. This is our building. This is building 3. Actually, right where my mouse cursor is, right here. That's like hovering right over this classroom, pretty close. All right, so they might call site A or site B. Either way, it starts out the same. So we're gonna go out the store, hang a left, and then all the way down at the back of the school, there's a fire escape door. All right, so we'll all go out there, which on this map is like right here. All right, so we'll come out here. Now, if they call site A, then you guys see this big long sidewalk right here? There's a bunch of numbers etched in the side, I think like painted into the sidewalk. You guys have probably seen those, maybe remember from last year. We are number 118, which is right in front of this the sports shed right here. It's this little shed right here. So it's gonna be us, 118. It's like right here. If they call site B, then they're sending us to this football stadium. You guys see all these bleachers right here? All these bleachers. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed in the past, but the fence in front of the bleachers, there's cards with letters on them. It goes all the way at this end is A, and then it goes B, C, D, and so on all the way down. Okay, we're supposed to be in section D, which I think is this one right here. It should be section D, right? You guys got that so far? Okay. Again, I'll show you guys one more time because I got another slide that's kind of repeat information. But before I do that, I also want to show you guys right here. I had to put these together a few years back, and this is really helpful. Is I got my name on a stick. Got Griffin on a stick. Oh yeah, Griffin on a stick. So as we're out there, and there's like thousands of students, like, where's her? Okay, I'll be holding this up just like this. You guys see me holding this up in class. Okay, so there's Griffin, there's our class, and then I'll be right there. All right, so let's look at the other version of this evacuation plan. So again, site A. Right, so here's our building right here. We're building 3. Might not super memorize this, so if they call us, then I'll throw this information up on the projection real fast. Okay, we'll go out this door to take a left, fire escape door, and then here's this sport shed back here, building 7, and the sidewalk is marked 118. We'll just line up on 118. Okay. Site B. They sent us to the football field. Now the school is like down below the projection, so we're coming from the bottom left, right? And we'll come this way, and then here's section D right there. Okay. Right. Any questions? Questions? You guys good? Good. All right. Good. Ooh, all right. So we're gonna step closer. So slide by slide, step by step, trying to get you guys towards this class physics. But I want you guys to step back and see the big picture of life here. Think metacognitively, like what are you doing with your life, and how are you going to make all these dots connect? So, do you guys see a bunch of little squares? If you look real close, maybe you kind of squint. You guys see a bunch of little tiny squares, little squares, right? And how many squares across? 52, maybe 52. Oh, and I heard you guys say like 90 down. I think it's like 80 or 90 down, something like that. So let's see, 52 across, 90 down. What do you think every one of those squares represents? A what?
A week.
A week. Yeah, a week in your life. Yeah. I bet this week's gonna fly by, and then when Friday rolls around, you can check off another one of these boxes, and when you check them all, it is game over. You guys are somewhere in this gold band right here, labeled high school, probably right about here, right? So, what do you want to make of this? Because life short, goes fast. What do you want to say contribute to everyone around you? Maybe you have family and friends. What do you want to experience in life? What do you want to get out of it? Yeah, so and a lot of big, heavy questions. Maybe some of you guys have a pretty clear idea, like, oh, I know exactly what I want to do with life, and just gotta make put things in order. Me, I didn't really know so much. I was like, okay, well, I'm good at math and science, I guess, but I don't know. But ended up in a pretty good place because I like teaching this class and you guys, and it's pretty good. So maybe here's one framework for thinking about the. I mean, this isn't the only framework for thinking about life, but I think it's a pretty good one, right? So I've got some questions around the periphery here, like what do you love doing? What do you enjoy doing? Where you naturally drawn to? What are you good at? What skills do you have? Right, we just kind of go together. There's maybe this kind of question of like, do you get good stuff because you enjoy doing it and spending time with it, or this is kind of reverse perspective of if you're naturally good at something, like way better than everybody else, you kind of recognize that, and then does that also make you more interested in that particular thing? But you guys think about. what can you be paid for? What does the world need? Those kind of go hand in hand. What can be sort of a supply and demand for your labor out somewhere in the job market? Right. So, I mean, I think if you can check off these boxes, if you get to do every day what you enjoy doing and you're good at it, you really develop that skill, and the world needs it. You're contributing, to friends and family and society. Then I think you're probably in a pretty good place. How does physics connect? Now, yeah, have some slides for this. Um, Now, there might be a direct connection. Show of hands. How many guys think, just to pick something, you might want to do something in an engineering field, something engineering based, right? That looks like about half the class right there. Yeah. Thanks. And there's like civil, mechanical, and electrical, a bunch of different subfields, but even within that, right? Uh, if you do anything engineering, then you're going to be using this class like every day of your life from now on. I mean, this is just like the base fundamentals, right? But in physics is like, how does the world work? What's the laws of nature, right? You push on something, how does it move, right? Right? What are the laws of motion? Right? Oh, and maybe you're interested in something more maybe kind of adjacent to that, where maybe there's okay, kind of see how this tie in, right? Or maybe there's a really abstract connection, and I have something for you too, and if that's the case. Uh, there's also yeah, also this right here. Is it possible that you will work a job now that doesn't even exist yet and have a link that says 20 jobs that didn't even exist 20 years ago? Now I've kind of patchworked this PowerPoint together. I change it every year. I adapt it, but I have used the slide for a while, and I think I put this together before AI was really coming around. I mean, this is a consideration too. Is like how do you incorporate AI? Um, Probably a lot of you guys will be using AI in some capacity in the future. But even if you do, even if machines are handling a lot of the heavy load of our thinking, get as much as you can out of your classes, because that will open up your mind to the possibilities of the concepts of what are you even out there to be able to do, right? Or maybe you'll have to communicate with the machine, like, oh no, don't make it like this, make it more like this, right? Will jobs even exist 20 years from now? Or, I mean, that's kind of a valid open question. So I don't know. I don't know what the world's going to look like 20 years from now. Uh, but kind of connects to, well, got a slide coming up. I mean, none of us know exactly what the future holds, but get as much as you can out of any class, including this class. And there might be direct applications of this class every day for the rest of your life, or there might be like one lesson that you learn one day, and it really ends up being really valuable, say like 15 years from now. It's like, oh yeah, glad I was at school that day and I had no idea, right? So you never know. All right, habits. Habits, of course, routines you get into that are hard to break. And that goes both ways. It goes for good habits, bad habits. So start thinking metacognitively about this. It's like, what do I want to get out of life, out of school, out of my classes, and how did things work last year? Right? I have an AP class here, so I imagine most of you guys are probably pretty good students, and good if you are. How did last year go? So if you're thinking, okay, yeah, I remember last year, yeah, I kept a planner and I was organized, and yeah, it was a lot of work and it was pretty tough and I had some challenging classes, but I was able to get a lot out of those classes and also pursue some side interests and hobbies outside my classes, and also, keep good friends, and right, it was pretty fulfilling. It was good. Then keep doing that. If you're happy with how last year went, keep doing that. On the other hand, if you're thinking, ooh, yeah, I remember we got a few months into the school year, and then I got in this bad habit of like I would go home and I would just like surf the internet, and then all my work piled up, and I didn't have time for that, and I didn't get anything out of my classes. I was resolved, and I was trying to check boxes, and life was a frenzy, and I couldn't hang out with my friends because I had no time. Right. Well, think about that, and how can you sort of circumvent that starting today going forward? Uh, because today's the best day to start making new habits. I can tell you from my point of view, from a teacher point of view, uh, I always try new things starting at the beginning of the year. So I come up with new ideas over the summer that I wouldn't have thought of. Summer's always really nice. It's refreshing, get a reset. Yeah, I get to my mind is free to think about ideas that I wouldn't have even thought of in the thick of school, like in like January or something, right? And then uh, yeah, so I try new things. Sometimes my new ideas work wonderfully, and we just stick with that. And sometimes like, ooh, yeah, that didn't go quite as intended, and I could kind of backtrack and restart and try something different. Oh, that's not. Nope. I think that bell is the end of lunch A, but we're going to be here for another half hour, looks like. All right, so we got half hour class before you guys go lunch. All right. Oh, yeah, and then yeah, so same thing with yeah, with you guys. Here, let me forward a little bit because one of my big points on the slide is use a planner. Yeah, you guys see use a planner, have a space and time to develop, dedicated to well your study, but it's not just schoolwork. It's also your personal interest too. Right? Like especially as the school year is rolling along, I'm working really hard. You guys are working really hard. Like we're all doing hard work here. Right? This academic work, it's hard work. Right? I know I'll go home and it'll be like 5 o'clock and I'll just like crash and maybe have to eat dinner, watch a couple of YouTube videos, and then I pull up my planner and then I had a very nice convenient checklist for oh yeah, that's right. As the day was going on, a few hours ago, I did write down I have to do these 5 things. And then because it's really organized, it can just go check, 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 check. Yeah, maybe it takes a few hours. Right. And then maybe I gotta, hopefully sometimes a little bit of spare time I can work on some other things too. Yeah, your planner, you don't just have to write assignments for your classes. You can have other interests too. So think about other things that you want to do that maybe you don't have a class for. Like, oh, I really want to learn how to, I don't know, like develop web pages or learn a musical instrument. I don't have a class for those, but those are skills that I want to have. Hey, put it in your planner. Make a space and a time for it. Like, I really want to hang out with my friends and go to this particular event. Well, that's not going to be in any of your classes. You're not going to grade for it, but I want to make a space and a time for it. It's worth my time. Okay? Make a space and a time for it. Okay? You be organized. Let me go back to the skip back here. So yeah, establish a good routine during August. Yeah, there's cognitive science that shows this, is that if you make a concerted effort for about 3 or 4 weeks to establish some routine, like that becomes your habit. And then it's really hard to break that habit regardless of what it is. If you have good habits, then just maintain your good habits and it's not too bad to do that, right? If you've established bad habits, like if you're getting to September and you just have bad habits going, then you're in a world of trouble. It's really, really hard to reverse out of that by that point. So yeah, take August to establish some good habits. How about this one? Apply positive framing. Be engaged in your classes. Enjoy in this class, maybe solving challenging physics puzzles. Enjoy school. Right? What kind of attitude do you want to show up with to school? Right? I see so many people that just like they just however it's developed, throughout their life, just approach everything with a negative attitude, like it's just like down about everything, or they're just looking for how everything's like terrible, or just complaining about everything. And I mean, use legitimate criticism for anything for like any time, but yeah, this negativity is it really good for you? And it's not really the attitude you want to like experience life, like the shoes you want to wear, right? And then even that negative attitude can spread around. It's not helping anybody else. So there's a metric of this that you can decide. I actually want to see what positive I can get out of my classes or get out of school or any activity that you go to. And sometimes you can come up with a good idea. Like, yeah, if I do that, then I'm going to learn this, and that will be good for me. And sometimes it's kind of open-ended. Sometimes life's a surprise. You never know what cool things you're going to learn out of any class. Okay? Materials. So good to have a calculator. Now that one right there, that's the same one I'm going to be using. This TI-30X2S Scientific. This you can find at Walmart or Target for like $10. Right? You can. It's like $10. And even back when I was in high school, they had this exact same model, and I love this model. I've been using it since I was in high school. So back Age of the Dinosaurs, back for a meter. So this of course going to do all the main functions: add, multiply, blah blah, square roots. There's also a sine, cosine, tangent functions. You guys know some trigonometry? Guys, this class, AP Physics, we're going to be doing trigonometry all the time. It's related to vector components. Vector components somewhere up here. Here we go. Vector components. So someone's going northeast. How much north? How much east? Right? If you push something, someone's moving something. Right? All the time, vector components. So if you're a little bit rusty on that, then that's right. Of course, we're going to be applying that. You guys get to learn again. But sine and cosine buttons are on there. There's also some probability and statistics, so you can find like standard deviations and stuff. Right? Anyway, I really like this calculator. Now you can use whatever calculator you like. Just if you want to be punching exactly the same buttons I'm punching, then it's good to have that one. Plus, I have a class set of those already out on the desk. How about the AP exam? Are you allowed to suppose you have suppose you have a really fancy graphic calculator. You have a TI 89 Titanium Plus. You think you're allowed to use that on the AP exam? Yeah, turns out you can. Turns out you can. So, pretty much just anything that does not connect to the internet. If it connects to the internet, you're not allowed to use it. But if you have a really fancy graphic calculator, otherwise, then yeah, you can totally use it. Now, I don't think you need it necessarily. I just use this one. Planner. Here, let me see show of hands. How many of you guys have a planner right now? Who has a planner? Who has a planner? Okay, a few of you guys. All right. How about let's do this. I know some years the school has a little extra money. Sometimes they get a planner to every single student. It's kind of a crapshoot. It's like sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I guess they didn't this year. There is some paper out in front of you guys. You guys see how those bar stools in front of you? There's some paper. So if you don't have a notebook or a paper otherwise, you can take a sheet. That's all right. That can be your temporary planner. I guess maybe two things I want you guys to do tonight. So go on Google Classroom, AP Classroom, of course, right? But also, if you don't have a planner, ask your parents to buy you a planner, and then try out using it. Right? Because again, it's like the best time of the year to try new habits, build new habits. Right? It can pretty much guarantee you, if you get in the habit of using a planner, you'll realize, oh, this organizes my life so much better. I'm getting so much more out of life and out of my classes, and makes things so much easier. And all these other things I want to do with either my other hobbies and skills and interests and friends, and it makes it so much easier to fit those in too, because I'm organized. Something to keep notes in. So up to you. Do you want a spiral notebook? Do you want a free binder with loose leaf paper? Something like that. There have been plenty of times in the past where I've taken notes and I look at my notes at the end of the day and say, oh, I don't even remember writing that, or the teacher even saying that. So good thing I wrote that down. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll be solving some physics puzzle up here, and then I'll walk around the room and see who's actually solving. Who could solve the equation, who could draw the graph, who can draw the free body diagram, whatever it may be, and say, okay, yeah, and I can see right away like who's getting it, who's understanding it. Like if you guys can finish solving something before I can, that's a good indication to both of us that you know how to solve these things. Yeah, so I have something to write on, some paper. Okay, this one. AP lab notebook. This is kind of up to you. Just tell you what I know anyway. So you guys know if you pass the AP exam in May, that you would get credit for physics and like college credit. And then the college could exempt you from that class if you needed it for a prereq or something like that. So you get college credit. Now, truth be told, I actually retook physics in college and saw it from a little bit different perspective, and that was really helpful. So you could always do that too. At least you have the option. Now, how a physics class works in college, like most college classes are 3 credits. It's just how they count them. But a science class like physics or chemistry, it's 3 credits for the class, and then an additional 1 credit for a lab, which you do separate, usually like once a week, something like that. Now, what I'm told, I don't know how enforced this is or whatnot. What I've heard is that universities might, for that specific lab credit, request that you have your AP lab notebook so they can see that you've done a bunch of labs in high school. Now, how most students usually want to do this is to just have individual lab papers. Like some days there might be like a really complicated table. It's like, just to save us a few minutes, I'll like pre-print out the table and give that to you guys. Which I guess there's plus and minus to do that. But and then what you can do is you can assemble the notebook yourself. So like hold on to all your labs from this class. We're going to do a bunch of labs, probably every week or two. We're going to be doing a lab. Okay, so hold on to all those, like collect them all together into your notebook, and then you can have that if you ever need it in the future. It's probably good to study anyway for the AP exam you're going to take in May. Now, I have had a few students in the past who want to buy this composition notebook from the store, and they keep all their labs in that composition notebook, and they just turn that in for all their labs. So if you want to do that, you can do that too. Then you'll definitely have all your labs together. Okay. Ooh. All right, so now we're getting closer. So what is this class? What is physics? So in a nutshell, it is the study of the laws of nature that govern matter and motion in the universe. Okay. So you push on something, how does it move? Say you're in a car. Let's do some car physics, right? You step on the gas pedal. What does it feel like inside the car? And if you're standing outside watching the car move, how does it move? Is it going faster and faster? And if it is, like what's the terminology of that? How can you quantify it? Right? Like you guys ever in a car and you slam on the gas pedal and it feels like you're pushed back against the seat, right? What if you speed up a little bit more, or you push more against the back seat? How can you quantify that? Right? What if you're going 70 miles an hour on the interstate? Does it feel really similar to just sitting at rest in the car? How about right now? Are we on a giant spinning Earth going almost 1,000 miles an hour straight east? Do you feel that? Right? What if you're in a car and you turn the steering wheel? How can you quantify that? What if you hit the brake? Right? How much road does it take to come to a stop? How much time does it take to come to a stop? Right? How about anything in front of you right now? How about the calculator on your desk? How about the paper on your desk, the pencil on your desk? You think somebody had to design all these things and maybe you need some math and physics to understand how to put all these things together, right? Or any interest in your life. Again, there's like almost 30 different students in here. I bet you have 30 different sets of interests. I bet there's some tie into physics for any one of those. And by knowing this class, well, you'll be learning a new framework to think about the world. Right? You'll be learning what are the laws of the universe that make it tick. How does everything work? Okay? And that'll open up more possibilities for you to maybe even pursue better your own interests. Okay. All right. So I have a couple slides maybe to segue into this. For some of you guys and your life goals, it's going to be a really obvious direct connection. I think I asked you guys how many of you guys might be interested in something related to engineering. I think it was about half the class. Again, there's different fields within engineering even. But I think I got some engineering up here. Right? So there's some civil engineering here, maybe do some mechanical engineering here, some CAD program, designing things, designing buildings, designing machines. Oh, I know, this Navy guy right here. I know all the United States submarines are all nuclear powered, and they want somebody who can run a nuclear reactor on our submarines. So there's some advantages to having nuclear reactors on all our Navy submarines, right? How about hey, we're in Brevard County. We get to see all the rockets blast off. That's really nice. I always appreciate that I can see these rockets go off. That's really cool. Okay, so like rocketry. There's open questions in physics. There's definitely unanswered questions in physics that nobody knows the answers to. Like there's different laws of physics. Interestingly, there's like macroscopic laws and general relativity. And there's like atomic level laws and quantum mechanics, and there actually is a mystery of like they're always in concordance with each other. So could there be some like unified theory theory of unification? Unknown. Yeah, there's a lot of I think I got some quantum locking going on. I think that's what this is. How about this top one in the middle? Do you guys know what machine this guy's standing in front of? Some of it doesn't quite work. It's nuclear fusion, and he's trying to achieve nuclear fusion through I think lasers here. I think that's at Lawrence Livermore Laboratory. I think. Right. So think of all the energy that we use, like even just in this room right now, the projection, the lights, the air conditioning, that's all using energy, right? How about all the clothes that you're wearing right now? You think that was manufactured and shipped and that took energy? How about the breakfast you ate this morning? You think that was grown on a farm and had to be processed and shipped, right? So, like, where's that energy come from? Well, most of it's from fossil fuels, right? But which has a lot of problems, right? They're running out, causing climate change. So, one really nice solution could be fusion or some version of nuclear fusion, right? Now, fusion would, but like right now, all the nuclear power plants we have are all fission and they have nuclear waste we have to deal with. But fusion is actually a lot cleaner. Energy from that would be enormously abundant. But it's not quite a cracked problem yet. There are no fusion plants creating electricity on the grid right now. So, hey, maybe you will be one of the scientists one day that will finish cracking that problem. Right, so those are all sort of like definitely direct applications of the class. Okay? Again, you might have a number of interests where just as we're going through class day by day, who knows what you're going to learn that could tie into any particular interest you have. You might be surprised. It might help you out with something. But then I have the slide right here, so it get a little bit more abstract. So, you guys see the cell phone right here? I got an Apple iPhone. I got, this is a frame from, what movie is this from? Toy Story. Yeah, you guys are on. You guys know some stuff. Who was the guy who founded both Apple and Pixar? Steve Jobs? Yeah. Right. So I'm going to steal one of his stories because I've seen this in my own life too, like the sort of lesson from the story I'm going to tell you guys, but it's just such a good story I'm going to steal from. If you watch his commencement address, I think it's Stanford in 2009, he tells a number of his life stories. Of course, this is when kids are about to graduate from college back at Stanford, okay? And make their way in the world. So it can't really see the future. You might have some ideas of what the future is going to be or some goals or some ways you want to direct your life, but beat by beat, you don't know necessarily what a particular day you're going to get the out of that day that's going to help you out in the future. So his story, or one of the stories he was telling, his parents were really poor. He was actually adopted to some really poor parents. They did want to send him to college one day. So the first 18 years of his life, they were saving up all his money for college tuition. He eventually started going to, I think it was Brown University or something, right? But really expensive university. And after a few months there, he realized that he didn't really know exactly what he wanted to do in life. He did not know how college was going to help him achieve something that he didn't even know what he wanted to do. And he sees all his poor parents' savings from the 18 years being drained on his tuition to do he doesn't know what. So he did something really unique here. Not necessarily recommending this for everybody, but it's worked out for him. Is he actually dropped out of college? He never actually got a college degree, right? The guy who like goes on to help him start inventing personal computers out of his garage with Steve Wozniak, right? Never actually had a college degree. But what that actually liberated him to do was to start dropping in on classes that just looked interesting. If you guys ever get the opportunity to go to a four-year university, I learned pretty quickly when I started going to the University of Florida, is a lot of these auditoriums might seat like hundreds of students. And you'll have some gaps in your schedule. Like high school schedule is like class, 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 lunch, class, right? But college is like, okay, well, I have this class, then I have like a 2 hour window, and I have this class, then I have a 1 hour window. Right? During those windows, I started looking around at, that astronomy class is pretty interesting. That geography class is pretty interesting. You can just kind of hop in and sit in the back of this auditorium, like 400 students, and nobody really knows you're there. You can just learn cool stuff. Now, you'll never, of course, receive official credit for these classes, but you can learn a lot of cool things. So that's what Steve Jobs was doing back when he was in university. He was never paying tuition or receiving credit, but he just dropped in on classes that looked interesting for who knows what it would lead to. Now, one of the classes that he dropped in on was, well, this one right here. Guys, what is calligraphy? What is calligraphy?
Right.
Aha, writing, like the art of writing, the art of fonts, right? Kind of thing. Right? Now, the university is going to had a well-known program for calligraphy. Now, if you're thinking like a practical person, like, oh, like what, like how many full-time calligraphers are out there earning a full-time salary? Probably not a lot. I don't think. I don't know hard numbers on that, but if I'm trying to maximize my time, I'm probably not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to this artsy class and learn how letters work, right? But he did because he was following his heart and his interests, not knowing how the dots were going to connect down the line. Okay? So he sits in this class and learns all about calligraphy. Now, many years later, the late 1970s, is he's working in his garage with his partners, and they're creating some of the first computers. There's probably thousands of problems they have to crack to put together some of these very first computers back in the late 70s. And one of the many problems, probably easy to take for granted today, is how do you create a legible font on a pixelated screen? How do you do that? Okay? Nowadays, of course, we have so many fonts and really fine looking pixels and whatnot, but that was a problem. And then back in the 70s, like all those principles of letter design and font design came back to him. And so Apple computers back in the late 70s had some of the first like really good looking fonts on the screen. And that gave him a little leg up and helped him sell computers and whatnot. And then, of course, other companies like Microsoft came along and said, okay, well, we want really nice fonts too. And that's where we get all our fonts from. So, yeah, so the lesson here, the takeaway is, you never know how the dots are going to connect down the line. There have been plenty of times in my life where just had like some interest or something, or maybe I'm trying to put together this class and there's like some skill that comes back from, oh yeah, I'm really glad I took that class like many years ago, or I was there in school that day because have some skills helping me solve this particular puzzle. All right, curriculum syllabus. So I gave you guys some things when you guys walked in. This is one of them. I also gave you guys some thumbnail notes, I think. Those are all for you guys to keep. So this is approximately how the class is going to be laid out. Now, by AP's book, there are officially 8 different topics, but it just depends how you count them. So this is approximately the timeline. Now, plus or minus a little bit. I mean, hurricane hits or we need an extra day for something, that's okay too. It can be a little bit flexible. Okay? We should be wrapping up the main content for this class, what's going to be on the actual exam by about the end of February. The exam itself is, well, it's right here. It's going to be Wednesday, May 6th at 11:30 is what's going to be probably in the gym, I think. That's usually going to have it. Right. So we'll have a solid 2 months just for review, like March and April, pretty much. Now, there are a bunch of physics topics that do not show up on the AP exam that I want to at least touch bases on with you guys. So at least you have the concept, you're a little bit familiar with them. And that's this whole list here. So I might take like a day here, a day there to do some of these. With the exception of, do you guys see one of these as electricity and DC circuits? I'll probably take a few days, maybe even an entire week to do some circuits with you guys. DC circuits used to be on the AP1 exam until the pandemic. Then they got rid of it and they just never brought it back. But it's a different way of thinking about how how does current flow throughout a circuit, which a lot of you guys might want to know anyway for whatever career you're going to do one day. But also there's an analogous story you can draw to like how does traffic flow throughout a grid on a city in a city, or how does water flow through a pipe system. Anyway, so we're going to full focus on all these topics that are going to be on the actual AP exam. And I'll touch on some of these other ones, maybe take a week to do DC circuits with you guys. Somewhere on here, near the top of this page, it says Canvas. Ignore that. I was trying to switch over to Canvas and I realized that wasn't so good. So we're just going to stick to Google Classroom. I want you guys tonight to hop on Google Classroom, which is this code down in this box in the bottom. Also AP Classroom. You guys going to do those two things tonight? Google Classroom, AP Classroom. Okay. And okay. And then the third thing is ask your parents for a planner if you don't have a planner yet. Okay. So you guys can do that too. You guys write all that down. All right. So okay, there's a calendar on the back side. So you guys have a calendar. Did I show you guys Google Classroom already? Okay, so we looked at that. Ooh, yeah, halfway through the day. Sometimes what I show you guys or not. All right, late work. Let's talk about this a little bit. Got a bunch of slides. Probably gonna. I think on Wednesday I'm gonna go through a bunch of slides with you guys too. But let's talk about this a little bit. Of course, turning your work on time. It's good to do that. Any assignment I give you guys, I have never ever in my life given something just to give you guys busy work or have something for the grade book. I've never done that. Anything that I assign to you guys, there's something I want you to get out of it, like some skill to build or some practice to have that could be like legitimately useful for you. So if I have a due date, then please do get it on time. Now, realistically, I mean, I've missed plenty of days of school from being sick. I mean, you might have the flu or something. Obviously, that's okay. Don't turn in something if you're sick. That's fine. If there's a rare occasion where it's like, oh dang, I forgot that and I'm late, and it's just like an assignment or something. If it's just like once or twice here or there, it's really not a big deal. I'll get it in full credit. That's fine. Right? Now, really, the reason I do have the slide is if there's something that's chronically late, like if you're always turning in assignments late, or something's like several weeks late or something, then it actually does cause problems, like a number of problems. Like for example, some assignments I don't hand back to your classmates until everybody turns it in, because once I hand it back, you sort of have the answer key kind of thing, right? And then if you haven't turned it in, you could be incentivized to like cheat, and that's bad. Don't do that, right? So, and then all your classmates are waiting to get the assignment back. It's like, well, I can't hand that back yet because don't have it from everybody. So I will take off points just if like it's getting to the point where it's like negatively affecting the entire class and taking points off, but usually you're okay. Yeah, turn things on time. You'll be all right. All right. Okay. Now I have many slides of physics questions. You guys see all these physics questions going through, bam, 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 bam. Right. So I'm gonna save let me back scroll a little bit. Okay. Since we only have about a minute of class left, I'm going to save these for Wednesday. You guys know tomorrow is laptop day, right? So tomorrow's laptop day. Wednesday, I'll pull up all these physics questions so you can see some of the things to be learning as we go throughout the class. All right, and that is going to be a wrap on today.